I'm starting a brand new podcast. And it's not just any podcast, it's coming in 3 key areas. The first area is going to happen right behind me, and it's a series of interviews with genuinely some really, really cool people. People that are within the creative industry, from musicians to poets, dancers, actors, directors, designers, movers, shakers, like literally anybody that kind of spends time within the creative industry. And it's a chance for me to delve into what they get up to within their job, what a typical day looks like, how they arrive at creating stuff. So for example, if they're a songwriter, how they write the song that you come to know and love. If they are an actor, how they develop the character from reading a script through to what you might watch on Netflix, and everything in between. The amount of people who don't class themselves as creative, they say, what's it like to be on stage? Do you get nervous? What's it like to be on set as an actor? What's it like to do blah, 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 blah. People are really interested in these sorts of things because it's quite alien if you're not involved in these worlds. But yet, as consumers, you see the end product all the time, but you just never see the process behind the scenes. This is a chance for me to dig into what they get up to and bring you some of the questions that maybe you've wanted to know. If you get involved in this and you want to know specific things, please do message in questions that you've got, or if there's specific people that maybe you know or that maybe you know of that you want me to interview, be involved, be proactive, and let me know who those people are, because I'm open to building this in whatever way is cool for me, but is also cool for you guys. Part 2, a solo podcast interspersed between these interviews. It's going to be me talking about things that I'm up to. So maybe it's a project I'm doing at the time and some reflections on that. Maybe it's a reflection of the person that I've just interviewed and something that I've learned from it that I can synthesize and bring to you. But also, I think it's a musician thing. From an early age, you learn an instrument. I was piano and saxophone. You go through the same process of you want to be able to play this thing and you figure out a way through, and it's not very pretty, but then the next time you do it, you go, well, I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z, and you find a path of less resistance and then eventually the least resistance. And since leaving music college, I think that habit has spilled into other areas of my life, whether it be a personal well-being thing or within how I teach young people, older people, or how I deal with my tech. I'm always trying to develop a better way or an optimal way of doing these things. And I've learned lots of really useful chunks that I've found over the years, and I'm going to bring them to you. It's not just going to be my anecdotes though, because I've only got so many. I'm also going to be diving into people that I've learned a lot from, people like Dr. Andrew Huberman, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, Tim Ferriss. These people are normally classed within the fitness or the well-being or the science area of the world, but actually literally everything they say can be applied to anything that you want to develop in your lives. They're going to be anywhere between 10 minutes and 25 minutes, probably out on Fridays, to kind of send you off onto your weekend with hopefully something that you might be able to apply to your own life. And who knows, you might find some value in it. Third and final part of this project I'm so excited about. Every single person interviewed on the podcast, I'm going to be collaborating with in some way, shape or form. We're going to be making something. Perhaps we'll write a song together, or write some poetry, or design a physical product, or make an installation, or produce a track. There's so many different things that could happen because of the skill sets of these people and my skill sets, and perhaps I might bundle a few of them together. It's a chance for me to collaborate with people that I admire, I want to learn from, ultimately just create something interesting, create something unique. I have zero idea what it's going to be, and neither do they. It's literally what we bring to the table there and then. And I suppose if I want to tie things together, and I like to tie things together, my analogy of this going wrong recently and providing me with a blank canvas, perhaps this is kind of coming full circle, and this is also a blank canvas start. It's like a true artist's way. I'll be talking about that book actually at some point on a podcast. It's a really good book. Breaking everything down to the bare bones and just seeing what you can create without the kind of backlog of, is it going to be good, whatever that is. Just as an aside, when I was driving to the studio today, I heard this interview with Griff, the amazing pop artist Griff. She was saying how she never told anybody at her school. I think she's only like 19 or 20 now. But when she was first releasing music, she never told any of her friends at school because She was worried that it wasn't going to do well in the charts, or she was worried that they thought it wasn't going to do well, it wasn't going to be good. And man, that breaks my heart. For such a good artist to put all of her reliance on whether she thinks it's good based solely on what the charts think is good, that is a perfect recipe for unhappiness, unfulfillment, and we do it all the time. We label music, film, TV shows as just good or bad, and then we just take it as golden because that's how we talk about these things. But it's absolute nonsense. Some people love house music, some people can't stand the thudding and repetition of it, some people eat, sleep and breathe jazz music, some people don't understand it at all and find it really irritating. We know this, but yet we categorize everything as just good or bad. Oh, that's great, yeah. Oh, I hate that. I love it. It's not music and art is not a binary thing. And yes, you can have your opinion about it, but we don't really talk about why ever. So anyway, I'm not going to go into a rant now, but that's something I should probably do a podcast on. How do we talk about music? How do we talk about art? Because I don't know, it's pretty weird to me the way we do things now. If you're interested in seeing how this room has developed over the last couple of months, my next video is going to be how I built this podcast studio. So come back a couple of days time and I'll release that. I've been really particular with who I've chosen to interview, but also where they're going to go within the season, because each season I don't just want 10 or 15 songwriters or 10 saxophonists or 10 choreographers. I want a choreographer and a musician and a songwriter and an improviser and a designer and a filmmaker and a YouTuber and a photographer and a videographer. I want everybody to be able to complement each other with their skills. In my head, I'm kind of building a team of Avengers per season. I like that analogy. These people are brilliant and I'm so excited for you guys to meet them, and I'm so excited to be able to hang out with them and do a podcast about it. So that's my project. It's a brand new podcast. Oh, I haven't told you what it's called. Should have said. It's called... See you next time.